Let's examine the paradox of Billy Kay. Here, the guitar and campfire symbolize creativity amid routine, a visual paradox.
Today, we're going to talk about a musician whose story is, well, it's a total paradox. His name is Billy Kay, and his life, his career, it just challenges everything you and I think we know about what it means to be successful in the music business.
I mean, just look at this. On one hand, you've got an artist who is absolutely taking Nashville by storm, and on the other, a man who is literally living in a shelter. How can these two things possibly be true for the same guy? That's the puzzle we are going to unpack right now.
So yeah, let's just call it what it is, the Nashville paradox. The question is so simple, but the answer, it's way more complex and honestly, way more inspiring than you might think. How is this even possible? Let's break it down. We're talking about an artist who's hit #1 in South Carolina. At one point, he was the most downloaded artist in Las Vegas. He's a respected country songwriter, a U.S. veteran, and he's homeless. You hear all that, and it just doesn't compute, right? It doesn't add up.
Well, to really understand what's going on with Billy Kay, you have to completely reframe the story. Because this isn't really a story about hardship. Nope, it's a story about a mission. This is what you'd call country for a cause.
He actually calls his journey the Abject Poverty Tour. What a name, huh? It's so striking, and it perfectly captures his reality. He's literally traveling the country, writing, performing, and using his music as a giant spotlight to raise awareness for people who are less fortunate.
And that brings us to this number right here, 100%. This is powerful. This number is the key to his entire mission.
You see, for his huge hit song, Ready, Set, Gone, 100% of the money goes directly to a battered women's shelter called the Shade Tree. Not some of it, not the net profits after expenses, all of it. So, you see, his homelessness isn't a sign of failure at all. It's actually a direct result of his absolutely radical generosity.
So, you have to ask, how did he become this person? This amazing blend of artist and activist? Well, let's take a look at the long road that brought him to this point.
You know, his musical journey started super early. He picked up the accordion at just 5 years old. By 7, he'd switched to guitar, which he calls his constant companion. He recorded his first song way back in 1974. He even appeared on The Gong Show. And then in 1999, he moved to Las Vegas and his career just took off again.
And believe me, his talent is not just limited to the guitar. The guy plays piano, French horn, bass, banjo, harmonica, and drums. He's basically a one-man band, a true multi-instrumentalist. It's incredible. And this isn't just raw natural talent either. Billy actually studied music formally at 2 different universities, so he's built this incredibly strong foundation that really powers the music he's creating today.
Okay, so we get the musician, but what about the songwriter? Let's dig into his artistic philosophy, because that right there is the heart and soul of all his work.
He's not just making up stories for his songs. He's more like a musical journalist. He says it himself, I write what I see. He sees an emotion in someone, hurt, joy, whatever it is, and then his lyrics trace that feeling all the way back to its source. That's what makes his music feel so real, so authentic.
And that kind of authenticity, it connects with people everywhere. We're talking about a global audience. He's got fans from Asia to Denmark who are so moved by his songs that they make their own music videos for them. I mean, that's just a huge testament to the power of what he's doing.
But this all raises a pretty practical question, right? If he's living in a shelter, how on earth is he working with top-tier professional musicians on his records?
It turns out his mission is just that inspiring. Other talented artists are lining up to help. Many of them just donate their time and their skills for free. And others, well, they agree to work for the price of a cheeseburger. It just goes to show you the power of his cause, building this incredible community all around his music. And that kind of brings us to our final section, how Billy Kay actually sees his own journey, because he is absolutely defining success on his own terms.
And let me tell you, his journey is far from over. He says as long as people are out there listening, he's going to keep writing, keep telling the stories of the people he meets every day.
After all of it, the chart-topping highs, the incredible personal lows, Billy's perspective is just one of pure gratitude. He doesn't see a life of hardship. He sees a life filled with purpose. He actually considers himself blessed.
You know, Billy Kay's story really leaves us with a pretty big question. In a world that almost always measures success by how much money you have or how famous you are, his life is a direct challenge to all of that. So it makes you think, how do you define success?